Okay, I figured out several things. Let me see. So first, there is the CGM. The CGM line tracker. Now, you see here variables A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and they are repeated on the 5 lines. To the right of these variables, you write the number depending on what the storyline says. So actually there are 5 registers for each of these variables. Then the interlinked memory starts with I until Z, and it holds a single value as well. To the right of the line, you write the position, and you only stop when you have written a new position each turn, and in case you have an event, you proceed on the cell. For example, if you have here, I don't know if you can see it. Let's make it a bit. So for example, if you are here on exclamation mark, then AA, you do the AA story events, and then depending on the choice, you go to the to the first or the second location. So this is the branching method. Here you have a choice, an A-B choice, for example. And if you select the A choice, you write down this, or you write down this, unless the value here is also a choice and not a position. So 4CX, for example, is 4CX. Okay, so the 4CX means end of the line. It's a slash, and the slash means do not write slash, but remove the entire line because it's done. There are several slashes here. That's if you end up on those, you erase the whole line. Now, for example, there is also 3 exclamation marks. Of course, I can never find them. Ah, here it is. GB on table 2 has 3 exclamation marks, and 3 exclamation marks means just move to the right of the so follow the row, and the first position value that you find, you write as your new position on the line. So the line rows, this is pretty important. So here the line rows only hold positions. Then we have some other things. Yeah. So I was reading through these little stories, and I found, for example, I think you can read it. A mobile ammo dealer meets you by following your ship. Do you like to trade? The grade of this trader you can see at the line value A.AK. This was a bug, but what it means is that you you look at a specific line where this story is, and then you look at value A, and the grade of this trader, a trader grade is between 1 and 6, and the ammo that he sells and buys is also of grade 1 to 6, depending on the trader's grade. And then you, if you, I think you, before AK, you would have by design written a number here, so it's between 1 and a 6. So that's how it works. There's some other things that I need to know. Yeah, okay. Then we also have the CGM commands. I'm going to lift this slowly and rotate it a bit. So this should be more clarified with examples, but such a number is called a pointer, and it's a location. So it's sheet 9 and then column E and row P. This comparison means that if you look up from that line, the A for example, on line 4, if you are on line 4, and you compare it, and if it's true, you go to the you process the cell on the right of the thing, and if it's false, so if A is smaller than 4, then you take then you process the cell that is to the right of that one. So if this is if this check is written in cell A, B, then you look at BB if it's true, and at CB if it's false. This is a plus minus. That means that you have to modify the value of that line that you are. A single exclamation mark is an event, and it's some kind of loop if you go to a cell that is also an event, and that way multiple events can trigger one at a time in a chain. The triple exclamation mark is just follow the next pointers until reach a new event without stopping. So you literally move your pen to the right. Percentage, I haven't found it yet, but it's to roll a d20 and roll against the value. If you are successful, it's just the same thing as before. You look at the thing on the right, and if you fail, you look at the thing on the left, on the right of that one. Slash means you reach the end of the entire line. It doesn't get activated anymore. This is changed. It's remove the entire, erase the entire line. All 0 written with a line inside a 0. Variables are always letters. Yeah, that's A to H for the local variables of each line. So there are 4 5 copies depending on how many lines you have, initially 4. I to Z is for a single global used interlink variable. So this is, well, it's clear to me. Let's move on to the next point that I discovered. I had some discussion with a designer today. So, in the atmosphere outside and atmosphere inside, these are independent variables. So there is, well, the designer found it too complicated to make them dependent. So anything outside can happen and anything inside can happen. And yes, no, and hell, and yes, none, and hell. I proposed to make them breathable, vacuum, and hell, breathable, vacuum, and hell. Well, let's see in the final version what happens there. Yep. Next point. These are the several enemies. I still haven't scoped them out. I really don't want to write down on book. Let's see. Yeah, so the first step, achievements. The first step in starting a new game would be to check for achievements. So I proposed in a rule book version to first step 3 check for achievements, and then the rest. Yeah, also, sorry about this. It's just a lot of information. There is a missing title in the CGM line tracker. Here should be written something because it has interlink memory and star map locations. I think it is like a line memory or something. Star map locations. This means that initially, without any upgrades, your starship can only hold up to 3 star maps. If you go to a 4th location and you don't have an upgrade, you have to erase one of your choice entirely to write it out again. Okay, now for the core book rules part. Let's see, hero skills, weapons, rules. Yeah, on the first page you have some kind of introductory vague text that tries to sell you the game, but you already have bought the game, so it's useless. The index, welcome, core components overview is also a too generic overview to, I don't know, to put you in the mood or something, but it should, I think it should all be removed and just start a new game, because you are already mentally prepared to to jump in to the game. Choose a flight, define your CGM start coordinates, then there is just a simulation, adventure, real life. This is a separate page in the final rule book. So this should 3.1 should just refer to that page, because all the difficulty settings are defined on that page. Now before 3.1 there should be, before choosing game mode, check for your achievements. Then it that's also very vague. This is a bit. We propose to rewrite this game phases. Let me see if I can stabilize a bit like so. The game phases should start with each turn you perform the following phases in order, and you can check for phase 1 and 4 for recovery phase. So I propose to put this here in beforehand. Then activate the lines on your CGM tracker. That means that you don't have freedom in which lines to activate. You start with line 1, then line 2, then line 3, then line 4, and you develop, as you say, until you have found a new position for each of these lines. Ship construction, I would say skip this if you just started, or if you don't have enough money. I would change the lines. Your own action, it's not really your own action. You initiate a space flight, you land at a previously discovered location, or you activate the line again. So clearly write down the 3 options, and you have to choose an option. I mean, decide 2 is too vague. You have to choose one of these options, and at most one of these options. Quick visit a shop, ammo dealer, or questmaster. I would just replace it with a teleport. Teleport action, for example. Yeah, and then now you may visit a shop, ammo dealer, or a questmaster inside a cleared map somewhere at the location which is still saved in your star map. Yeah, otherwise you can't go there. You must be able to reach it directly with the teleporter, so you must have the teleporter system upgrade on your spaceship. Well, makes sense. The level has to be in teleporting range, and teleporting should not be blocked in this location generally. Just put teleportation in a new section called teleportation, and here you say you check if you are on a ship, and you if you can teleport, and if you can, then directly use the trading function without even checking or walk to the map in detail. There should not be monsters in between, and the path inside of a map from the teleport place to the shop place, ammo dealer place, or questmaster place should be unobstructed. So this will be clarified in the definitive version. Quest timer. After 5 marks, the quest is erased. As I said before, it should also be highlighted or mirrored in the page itself, because this is actually what happens. And if you gamble on accomplishing these quests, you have to pay the penalty. If you first erase it, then you don't know what penalty it was. So you first check if you lost the quest. Then you pay if you can, and if you can't, well, too bad. You go to jail or something, and then you erase. That will be also in the new version. Recovery phase sounds like a Forgotten 6, but this is not true. Let me put this a bit more in detail, because it took me quite some time today. Maybe like so, and I hope that the screen will. What this actually says, it goes with a lot of restrictions, and if you meet these conditions, then You can regenerate your crew on board. If you don't have a specific med system, unconscious ones go back to exactly 3, and all other crew member recover plus 3 to the maximum HP level. Oxygen is refilled entirely, and you can exchange weapons and items between the crew members and the ship's inventory. These conditions are far too complex to write as it's not acceptable like this. First of all, you have to be on a ship, and then if you are not on a ship, you skip this phase. You check on step 1 and phase 1 and phase 4 only. And maybe also on phase 3 if you activate the line here. Something must have happened. You must have done something, and then you are eligible to do the recovery phase. You cannot just sit idly by and yeah, if you cannot trigger a recovery phase merely by moving from one location to another inside a location. So if you go from map to map, there is no recover. So that also means that if you go into spaceflight and you process the maps one at a time, you can't heal like this. So it's quite important. And also so this is the general turn order, and in a turn you can move from place to place. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. And here the CGM line tracker, what it tries to write down here is so if you have a choice, then you perform this or you perform that, and if you go like so, then it's called breaking the line. It's all very complicated. You either find a position, then you write down, and and you're done, or you don't. And if you don't, then it is one of these prefixes on the commands, and then you go in in a kind of loop. So you check if it is if this position, so 1TT, is a command. If it's a command, you you check that one again until you reach finally a position. And the 3 exclamation marks as a command means you have to follow the next pointer on its right without stopped line. So that is explained. The slash is explained. So I think we can at least handle the CGM line phases, and yeah, that is, I think, it's for now. But it's a lot of work. I asked how many decades he was has spent to come up with this product, but he says it was just a few weeks. But it's very rough, and it needs a lot of refinement. Yeah, in the new version, these ugly black bars are separated. They look like tiles. They have little white lines in between them. I also propose to change the iconography, and here there is the area separator logic. in all its glory. This should not be the work of a prospective buyer. The maps are given, like here. Well, but where are the maps? Okay, the maps are given, and it's for each map clear to the designer at least which one is inside and which one is outside. So, for example, if you go like this, it's not a separator. This is not a separator. So this is outside. This is void. You can't access it. This is outside, and this is also outside because it borders, well, the white. Lasers are not separating. This is also outside, and this is also outside. So they all have the same atmosphere. But for this, I'm not really sure. This is outside, but there is a separator, and this is probably inside because it delineated with a B. But you have to really look hard if this is inside. This is inside. But is this a blocker as well? So every icon should have at least a little line if it is a separator or not. So you can check by the symbols. But ideally, this should be made green or something to delineate. It is always and forever inside. Yeah, that's mostly about it. So next up will be reading the introduction story. Okay, bye.